the face of $1.25 a day. One of the places we visited on our trip to South Asia was Mahatma Gandhi's ashram in Ahmedabad, where Gandhi lived and worked for more than a decade while he led India's struggle for independence from the United Kingdom. His nonviolent approach to resistance was crucial in helping his country finally gain independence in 1947 and influenced peaceful protesters throughout the world, including America's Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. When we toured the ashram, it looked much as it had when Gandhi left it in 1930, pledging not to return until after independence, which tragically never happened as Gandhi was assassinated after India gained independence but before he could return. My mom and I walked through sparsely decorated rooms as it was easy to imagine Gandhi sitting there with a spinning wheel, inspiring young men and women to join in India's march towards independence. As was also true in Gandhi's time, the ashram is much more than a physical space. It continues Gandhi's work in educating and empowering Indians, including through teaching women skills they can use to earn a living to support themselves and their families. One of the women we met at the ashram gave me the most beautiful handmade paper. She shared her story of being able to support herself and her family because of the ashram's skills training and their help in selling her paper. She didn't look that much older than I was, and she already had children. She also had confidence that her children would have a better life than she did, in large part because of the income she earned from selling her paper at the ashram and elsewhere. I had read Freedom at Midnight, A History of Indian Independence, before the trip, and I remembered thinking that the woman's crafts and confidence were both a fitting legacy for Gandhi. Think about that woman making paper in India, but with a few crucial differences. She lives in a rural village, hasn't received any job training, and she doesn't have a safe place where her paper is sold at a fair price. So she's on her own. Making paper uses a lot of water, and women living in Africa and Asia have to travel, on average, 3.7 miles to get water for drinking, cooking, and cleaning, and for making paper. Too often, that water's not safe or clean, so she or her kids might get sick drinking it and even die. But let's assume the water is safe to drink. That doesn't mean, however, that getting to the water is safe, or that getting her finished paper to the closest market is safe. In many places, it's not safe for a woman to walk alone anywhere, so she waits until someone can travel with her, or faces a very real risk of being attacked or even killed. Or she could pay someone to get water for her or take her paper to market for her. No good choices. Waiting means losing possible business because it takes longer to make paper and get it to market. Paying someone to get water or take her paper to market means losing a portion of hard earned income, and being attacked is just plain horrifying. But let's assume she makes it safely home with water, makes her paper, and then makes it safely to market, all without having to pay someone else to take her paper there for her. The closest market is probably full of people like her who live in extreme poverty and cannot afford to spend much on paper, even beautiful paper. If she could get to a market farther away where people with more money to spend go shopping, she could charge more for her paper, but that's unlikely. So even if she works hard, makes wonderful paper, avoids getting sick or attacked, and sells her paper, she may only earn just enough to help send her kids to school, if there is a school, More on this challenge in Time for School. It will be very hard for her to make enough money to never have to worry about her kids' schooling, let alone clean water, good food, reliable shelter, or safety. While this picture is a little different in a city, markets filled with all different kinds of people are likely easier to get to, so she may earn more money over time. It's not likely she'll earn enough to remove all her worries about food, water, safety, or school. It's very hard to be very poor and to get out of poverty anywhere. Poverty resembles an endless loop, where the causes bleed into the effects and go around and around and around. This is what is known as the cycle of poverty. Think of our paper maker. It's unlikely the water she uses is clean, so it's likely her kids regularly get sick from dirty water. Taking care of her sick kids prevents her from being able to work more, make more paper, and then sell more to earn more money to lift her family out of poverty. Understandably, economists and other people who study extreme poverty have a hard time separating out causes and effects. Like our paper maker, most people living in extreme poverty do not have access to clean water. More than 3 out of 4 people living in extreme poverty live in rural farming areas, farther from better paying jobs and markets where people with more money shop, and farther from schools to learn new skills. More than half do not have enough access to electricity. Are people caught in extreme poverty because they're sick a lot due to dirty water? Or because they don't have access to the greater educational and job opportunities that often come with living in a city or a wealthier country? Or are they often sick because they're so poor? These questions are thought-provoking, but I hope you won't let them distract you from the ultimate goal: to help people live to their fullest potential everywhere in the world. We know that to help people and countries get out and stay out of poverty, more needs to be invested in cleaner water, quality schools, quality healthcare, better roads, improved sanitation, and so much more. For many wealthier countries, those investments came at least in part from the government over decades, even centuries. Most poor countries haven't had the resources to make similar investments, or haven't had the leaders who've made doing so a priority. While that's starting to change, it's not surprising that poorer countries are more likely to have people living in extreme poverty than wealthier countries. What can you do? We'll get to that soon.